Warning, the show you're about to hear contains strong sexual adult content, situations, and other material you may find offensive. If you are under 18 or easily offended, please leave now. For everyone else, please stay tuned for Real Talk Lifestyle.
Hi, welcome to Real Talk. We're your hosts.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Sarah. Please join us as we discuss the swinging lifestyle.
Happy Monday. Thanks for tuning in. This is Real Talk Lifestyle. I am Rob, and I am joined with my lovely wife, Sarah.
Hi, everybody.
How are you doing tonight?
Great.
Okay. You're still a little under the weather. You're about 90%, but it's glad to have your voice back, though.
My voice is back. Yeah, that's just something else.
So tonight we are going to jump right in, and we're going to discuss social anxiety. Not only social anxiety in the lifestyle, but in day-to-day use. So that was one of these subjects I really wanted to hit on because I'm noticing a trend, especially with younger adults and teenagers.
Which we don't allow in the club, by the way.
Right, no. I mean, it's adult based, but I mean, I notice like with our kids, other kids, just watching things on social media.
People that have done it in their 20s.
Yeah. Everything is social media related now. We are live with the chat, so if you guys would like to tune in and play along at home, feel free to go ahead and do that as well. But I noticed a trend with a lot of younger adults, and there may be some older adults too, but I don't notice as much with the older ones. I mean, you still have the shyness with the older adults, but I'm noticing with the younger generation, there's more of a stigmatism with social anxiety. And I think there's a lot to do with, I mean, don't get me wrong, cell phones are great. It was a great invention. The internet came along as well. That was a great invention. However, Facebook, MySpace, all these different platforms that came out.
Social media.
Yeah, everything is done online. And I noticed that people use that and rely heavily on it instead of conversing in person with people. I mean, we see people breaking up online. I don't want to be with you anymore.
I'm going to send it to your Twitter account.
Yeah,
I'm changing my Facebook status.
Yeah, it's tweeting, you Facebook message, or you text them. Everything is done by internet now. There's not a lot of face-to-face interaction, and I think that is the downfall that's happening, is because kids don't have the practice to talk to people. They don't have, and it's not a put down or anything like that. It's just, I think that builds that social anxiety, is because they don't have the practice, conversing with people, because, you
don't have to.
If you look at the statistics on how long people spend on Facebook, Kik, surfing the internet, all these things, you're spending a lot more time online. I mean, 6 hours sometimes, and it depends on your job too. You could be on that thing all day long, and then you get off of work, then you go right back to your phone and you're doing it. And I'm not saying everything is based on social anxiety because of that, but I believe that is a big, strong part of it.
Well, I mean, we've had struggles with him because he has so much stuff. He's constantly online checking emails or updating the internet, and then, our kids will be like, well, we never see you, you're always busy doing that. So 50% of his time is taken up with something, that has to do with internet-based, and I think we get into that thing too sometimes, where we get into this, and we did grow up when you didn't have that, but
yeah.
I think we've adapted to that technology, and we do it too.
Right. Well,
I'll be upstairs and he'll be somewhere else.
Yeah, and it's easy.
Where you at?
Yeah, it's easy just to send a message, but I don't know if we really have too much of a issue communicating back and forth or conversing with other people.
Not us personally, but I've noticed, like, have you noticed, like, you'll talk to somebody in a kick group, and these people are so outgoing, and their personality is explosive. They're sexual, they're flirty, and then
and you have that element too that you're hiding behind that little blank wall, and you're not face to face.
So when you meet them in person, and you're like, wow, this is a completely different person than who I talk to online every day. So we older adults get that too. But you're right. I think the younger generation has grown up with that, so they rely on that too.
Right. But I guess the best advice I can give to people is, sometimes you got to put the phones down. You got to get a break off this stuff, and you have to practice talking to people, because it can actually hold you back in life from getting a better job. If you're interviewing, you want to be able to stand out on a job interview, whatever you're doing, even volunteer work, any of these things. Practice with friends. If you go out with them, you're easier to talk with them, but you need to practice. I don't want to say on like strangers, but you have to be able to have that ability to communicate and talk to people in general, because the longer you stay with the social media things and things like that, it's going to hold you back in life because you're not prepared to talk to people, and that's a big issue.
It holds you back in the
you got college online classes and stuff, so you're not interacting with people. Everything is like computer based, and I hate to say it, but I think the internet is good and bad. It's really brought us along in the new era, but it's also kind of dumbed us down some.
Because you can get your information faster. When you really want to research something before you had to go look through books, that is the one nice thing about the internet. But you're right, it can also dumb us down because we believe everything we read on the internet.
Yeah, a new bracelet tonight too. I see. I like that one. But yeah, there was one other point I wanted to touch on with that was, when we were growing up, we had and I'm going to date myself here. We had the phones that you had. Well, when I was a little kid, they had the phones where it was rotary dial, and you had to do this thing, and if you messed up, you had to hang up, start back over. There was a video circulating on YouTube. Yeah, but there was a video, and the dad gave the kids his phone and said, I'll give you something or another if you can call this phone number in this amount of time. They couldn't figure out how to do it.
They're on the rotary.
So they finally, at the end of the video, figured it out. But back when we were growing up, the way you met people was you went outside to play, you went places, and you had to actually go up to somebody. Even if it was awkward, you still had to go up to make a friend. You had to actually converse with them, to talk to them. Nowadays it's a little bit different. You grew up with school friends, things like that, but I noticed even my daughter, when she was in school, she always had a hard time meeting people because she was in that age of computers and things like that, and the phone, and she was on it constantly.
She's another one that they're great on social media. My daughter's very active on social media, very very outgoing, but in person very reserved. So yeah, she has that anxiety issue as well. Yeah,
and like I said, I've noticed like her friends, they're the same way. But like I said, that's the best thing anybody can do, is you have to be able to talk to people. You have to be able to practice, anything you want to do.
It's going to hold you back.
It's going to hold you back. It definitely.
In the lifestyle too,
yeah. In the lifestyle, but not even talking about lifestyle. And I know everything we try to base everything is on lifestyle experience, but this goes back to everyday living. In anything you do, from day-to-day interactions all the way into your night, to your social life when you go out. No different that if you go to a regular restaurant, a bar, you still have to be able to carry a conversation and converse with people. If you get into a job where you have a company function or something and you have to go out and talk to people, or if you become a recruiter for a job fair or something, you have to be able to go and talk to people. This all plays hand in hand. And I know there's other struggles, where people are growing up, and it's not the social media basis part of it that causes social anxiety. I mean, I know there's people out there that truly do have anxiety with, and that might go being hand in hand with being shy and things like that, and it makes them awkward being in larger crowds, things like that. But I also think that not having that role play skills to build yourself up to be able to talk to other people is a hindrance as well. So, like I said, going back to what I'm saying is everybody needs to have somebody they can talk to, and maybe you just sit down and say, I'd like to role play, talk. And, it might sound a little silly that, we're saying try to talk yourself through these points to, see if you can just take baby steps. I mean, it is just like the lifestyle, you're taking baby steps into that, growing into different things, but being able to better yourself to communicate with people is not only going to help you in a lifestyle setting. Again, going back to the other, it's going to help you with your day-to-day interactions, getting promotions, just basically going out and meeting people. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
You're awfully quiet over there. I don't want to take the whole limelight. I know they all tune in to hear you, not me, but...
No, they don't. I think you're doing fine.
Well,
I'm sorry, folks. I'm really under the weather, so...
Now you're back to being under the weather? Oh,
no,
come on, you can talk a little bit.
I can.
I want you to be engaged in it too.
I know. I've noticed with the clubs and stuff, and this goes back to the lifestyle because we do have to somewhat relate to the lifestyle, but I've noticed that people tend to use their phones here as a block, and they'll sit there and they'll come here. Well, and they'll still be on their Facebook, or they'll be chatting with other people. And
some of them too, though, I do see them. They're on adult sites, and they're setting up meetings and seeing what's going on.
I get around to talk to people more, and I will notice they're on their Facebook, or they're on this or that, and then when they go, I don't understand why I can't meet anybody. I'm like, I can. You used your phone as a stand-back shield that really kind of makes people not want to come and talk to you. And I've done that myself. If I see somebody on their phone and they look like they're intent on their phone, I tend to not want to go and stop and talk to them, because I'm thinking, well, if I go and stop and talk to them, am I interrupting something? Am I interrupting a conversation they may be having? So honestly, folks, your phones are great, but they're also a blocker to other people by saying, hey, I'm busy, don't bother me. And people will tell you, in this type of setting, if they see somebody on their phone, then they're not going to go approach them.
Yeah, you kind of look disinterested.
Yeah, you look disinterested. Yeah. You look like you don't want to be here. So it gives off a vibe, and you may not intentionally do that. It may be because you're feeling awkward, and you don't know anybody, and you want something to do, so you get on your phone. But it really does throw people off, because they're just like, well, obviously they don't want to engage in conversation because they're on their phone. So, when you come to a club, or you are meeting people in person, kind of stay off your phones, folks, because it just shows the other people that you're around that you're not really interested in the conversation, or you may not even be interested in them. And that might be the complete opposite, like I'm saying, just put your phones down and start talking to people, you're gonna actually have to get up and talk to people, whether you like it or not. You're gonna have to, set the phone down and actually go conversate. And he's right. I think he's right. You need somebody to practice on. If you're not comfortable talking to people, start when you're out to dinner with friends, instead of having them all being on your cell phones, because I've noticed that too. Put them down and start, actually carrying on a conversation, instead of saying, hey, how's your day? Tweeting it, or not tweeting it, but text it to them. Actually look at them in the face and go, hey, how's your day? Carry on a conversation, put the phones down. Because, you're going to prevent yourself from making any connections in any social situation by being on your phone constantly, because it does set up a block. People say, I don't really want to talk to you, it looks like you're busy, so.
I agree. Do we have any comments, anything come through yet? Because I don't have anything, so I don't know if anybody's even tuned in yet, but... So other than that, I want to jump real quick. I want to announce our sponsors tonight. We are sponsored by Adam and Eve here in Omaha, Nebraska. We do have a promotional deal set up with them. We can get you 15% off. We are exclusive provider. We are exclusively endorsed by Adam and Eve. So we have a promotional code that you can email us or call the club or the phone or the email, and we'll be able to give that out to you. We're not going to announce it out here. Also, people outside of our viewing area, we're getting it set up right now to where you can actually go online to the store, and you'll be able to enter that promo code in, and you'll be able to take advantage of that discount. So that is coming. We don't get any kickbacks from them. We don't get anything for helping them sell anything. We don't get any free stuff like that. We set this up because it's another way of us to help give back to the lifestyle. So we wanted to reach out to different, places and work with them to be able to help them, get their product out and also get you guys the best deal as possible. So again, we do not get anything for endorsing them. You get the 15% off. We get that same deal when we go in there. The store is amazing. The employees are great. Our experience going in there, it's a very classy store. They got a lot of great stuff. You can actually go online and check it out. So definitely you want to check that out. And then again, like I said, all the people outside of our Omaha area, if you want to take that advantage, you can actually order from them and have it shipped to you as well. So we are working on that. As soon as they get the stuff set up on the computer and their IT department calls me and said everything's set up, we'll go ahead and we'll pass that on to you as well and let you know when you can do that. But if you are in town and you check it out, definitely go by and check them out. So that's a really great thing. So we really want to thank Adam and Eve for doing that sponsorship for us. I'm trying to think of anything else I can. Oh, okay. So we do have somebody tuned in right now. They're watching on their phones. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I know everybody is busy with other things, but again, group chat, everything is great. You got a compliment. It says he's bashful, but I have to say, Sarah, you look great. Is that how you do it? So yeah, he gave you a compliment. You look great.
You.
Yeah, actually, that is how you do it. It's kind of hard, because you're typing it in online, so it's not face to face. But yeah, I mean, if you're in person, you definitely want to, go up to somebody and say, by the way, you look great tonight, and you do. I must say, you look very, very.
Sparkly.
Well, I was gonna go somewhere else with it, but I was gonna say sexy, but.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's definitely it. You want to be able to strike up a conversation, and then always can be a great way to do something, depending on your setting, because you don't want to go up to a coworker and go, man, you look hot today. But in a setting where you're at a club or something like that, you can always go up.
You can't.
Yeah, you can always go up and say, you're very attractive. I'd like to have a conversation with you. Maybe not go up and say, well, I think you're attractive, but you're pretty, you're beautiful. You want to try and do it.
Hi, people.
Yeah, you do, but you don't want to make it sound like you're coming off with a line either, and you're just hitting on somebody, even though that's
really what you're doing.
It depends on the situation you're in, I guess. So how you do it. I mean, here at the club, I would definitely come up to you and say, wow, it's great to meet you. My name's Rob. Blah blah blah.
And I'd say, go home, creeper. No.
Yeah, she thinks a lot.
No, he's to me, you're right. It works better if you just come up and introduce yourself and start
just
a normal
hello.
Normal conversation. Hi, how are you doing? Stuff like that.
My name is.
Start out, with regular.
If you got a moment, I'd like to talk to you, get to know you a little bit. Things like that. I mean, it's just practice, like I said.
Well, speaking of social anxiety and stuff, when we did our lock and key party this weekend, that was the one thing people said they really loved about it, and it was fun because you've seen everybody get up and scramble and try everybody's key, and the guys were trying all the girls' keys, and it made them have to get up and actually talk to all the people in the club, because honestly, you don't know whose key you're or whose lock your key would fit. So it was really nice because a lot of these people who had never talked to these people before, actually got to meet them because their lock or their key would fit their lock.
Right.
So they said that's the one thing they loved about it, is it made it the social part of it so much easier.
Well, and I think too, some of the people didn't attend that event because they were misconstrued on what the whole thing with the lock and key was about. They thought that, just because you got a padlock and a key, that if you matched it, you automatically had to sleep with that person
or hook up with them.
Yeah, and that
true.
wasn't the concept at all. The concept was to be able to get people just to get up and go, oh, you got a padlock? You mind if I try my key? My name is blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And, in the course of that, you try your key. It works or it doesn't. Then you go on to the next person. But there's never a guarantee that you're ever going to hook up with anybody. And that goes for any club or anywhere you go if they ever do these lock and key parties. There's nothing ever written out in stone or, implied that if that happens, you get that. I mean, it's just, I don't know if I didn't explain it right, or some people just didn't understand the whole concept of it. I don't know. But the people that did come, they had a great time and they enjoyed it, and,
wanted us to do the party again.
And they got to meet people, so that was the whole point of it.
And they didn't necessarily hook up with
and it was great just watching people run around.
It was really fun,
and I mean, there was a couple times people, my key didn't work, and, it was like, you really got to get it in there and try it, and you had people like jam it in there going like that, trying, hoping it would open.
What I loved is they were so, if they really, you had no idea if they really liked you until they were so eager to try their key in your lock.
Yeah.
And then if it didn't fit, you had they're like, oh man.
Yeah, it's so like that little disappointment there.
It was cute, and it was funny because, a lot of the females had their locks tried, and a lot of these guys wanted to really be able to talk to
there was
females.
girls, and the girls were the same way too.
Yeah.
I noticed, I couldn't believe it, so I mean, it's
certain enough as we're hoping for certain keys to certain guys.
Yeah,
but
I think
it was nice to not. I thought it was nice not knowing who your key was going to match with.
And that was the whole point of it. You can't set it up to where you set it to where it's, you know who it's going to work for.
No,
that's the whole point of that. But again,
and that was also a conversation started at the end too, because when everybody matched up, you're like, well, who did you get?
Yeah,
and who did you get? So I mean, that gave you another avenue of conversation you could go to, and I thought it was really fun.
Yeah, well, and like I said, I think we'll run that one again here in the future. I'm just going to put it out and explain it a little bit more in detail so everybody gets the concept of it. But I mean, it was great for new people as well as others that have already been
or had that anxiety of not being to talk to people. Yeah.
So I mean, it was something for everybody. It's not just for like brand new people. It's for everybody. So that's the definite thing I'm going to try again on that. Now I know we usually started out with stories and stuff like that. I didn't think you had one this week, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have David, our producer, throw out the drink of the month real quick. I still didn't get a chance to try this drink out.
And we had the Baileys too.
Yeah, I had the Baileys, but I don't think it was the right flavor for that. But if anybody's tried the drink of the month yet, let us know how it is. I'm going to try... Wait a minute, did we have the Irish cream one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We do have.
Well, we didn't have the other two.
Yeah, Amaretto almond liquor.
So if anybody's tried it out, let us know what you think of it. This is the drink of the month, so we're going to run it for the whole month of April.
I like the cream. I just want the cream.
Yeah. Things you
wink,
things. Yeah, I was going to say things you hear or
wink,
overhear.
Yeah, I want the cream.
I want the cream. So that's definitely it. So check that out. If anybody tries it out, let us know what you think of it. And we do have one more sponsor I'm going to go ahead and announce and get this one out of the way. We are actually sponsored by Spunk Lube. This is a lube that's used in the adult industry and a lot of pornographic movies, things like that. It's a hybrid. It's water-based silicone lubricant. It's not greasy at all. And I tell you, it actually looks like semen.
It looks like cum.
Yeah.
We were playing with it
we
before
were
the
playing.
show.
Well, I went to open it up and it just kind of shot out.
Shot out. Like what normally happens. Yeah.
And that was the first thing she says. She goes, "Oh my God!" And I was like, "Well, yeah, that's whether you, but it's not greasy."
No, I was playing in it, and I was seeing if it was like the consistency.
Yeah, I mean,
it really looks and feels like
right, but it does wipe off really easy.
It does, yeah.
So if you're trying to get into those really tight spots, give Spunk Lube a try. You can just go to www.spunklube.com. They do have a promotion going on that if you buy 3, you get 1 free. I know last week when I was...
he made it sound like one hell of a deal.
Yeah, I had it backwards because I didn't read everything. So, but yeah, if you buy 3, you'll get a free one. So check them out. And they have an assortment of different
which we'll
lubes.
show, yeah. Which we're going to show.
They have pink.
I know. I want to see.
So
I want to see the pink one, folks. So that'll probably be next week.
Right. And this doesn't stain, and it wipes off really easy. So I mean, I just wiped it off my hands. It's not greasy or slippery or anything.
I had it all over my hands, and my hands aren't sticky at all.
So I wanted to do that, but tonight, where are we at on time right now? 25 minutes. Okay, so we got a little bit of time. We did have a question came in, and this one was for you, and I didn't read the whole thing. I just kind of glanced at it because it said for Sarah. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. I didn't get it on a card. It says, "My question feels stupid to me because we are so new to it all. I am already beyond shy, which at my age is almost comical, and because most people think exactly the opposite and being attracted to others is no issue. But I have no idea how to go about taking the first step. I have never been one to make the first move. We have been to our place, and the first time didn't go well. We found our way back after a bit, and it says, I'm more than comfortable till I'll literally freeze instead of doing what I want." And it is signed, but I'm going to leave it blank. But that was for you to answer.
Female or male?
It's from a female.
Okay.
Yes. So she's saying she wants to make the first move, but I think so. You want me to read it again to you?
No.
Okay.
No.
First of all, there is no stupid questions. Ever.
Anything that you want to ask is never stupid. I mean, and honestly, obviously, this is something that's bothering you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have asked the question.
I think it's great that a lady wants to make the first move.
Yeah,
it really is.
Normally, I'm the one sitting back on it. It's their job.
Yeah.
But oh wow, this is a toughie. Because I've actually felt that way, and
well, how do you get over the shy part? I mean, if you keep being shy, you miss your opportunity when you want to do something.
Yeah,
so
I did
just take it little by little, and break it down for each section, and see if you can come up with how you would handle or how she should best approach it.
You know what? Honestly, I think that I could, if you've come here before, I could probably help with that. First of all, by finding somebody to, first step is having somebody actually sit with you. You kind of have to talk to them just a little bit. I think finding also the right set of people to bring you out of that shell really helps too. And it is intimidating going up to people and talking to them. I mean, I've had my moments where, I've done the same. I would love to go up and, talk to some gentleman that I think is extremely attractive. And then I wind up not doing it because, I'm scared. I'm scared shitless.
Yeah, you're scared that you're going to be rejected or turned down.
Rejection is the main thing, yeah.
But if you don't ever put it out there, and
That's true.
I've been finding that myself. I mean, that's why I'm out more now.
And this question actually should have been addressed by him because he is the worst one when it comes to actually even approaching people.
I just decided, you know what? I'm always off doing other things, making excuses, and not coming out and meeting people. And I miss out on all the fun. And I'm not talking about sleeping with somebody. No. I'm actually talking about just getting out and meeting people and talking to them. I always would make excuses to not do it. And, at the end of the night, I'm like, didn't meet anybody. I didn't do this, didn't do that. So, I'm out now. I'm just like, screw it. I'm going to go out. I'm going to talk to people. And
it takes some poking and prodding, because I really had to prod him to do that, because he would come to me and go, "Has that couple been here before?" I'd look at him like, "Yeah." I mean, I'm like, I talked to him. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, the reason you don't know is you would use this wall around people, and you would continuously go back to that, and you know, it is really scary when you're in a social situation and having to put yourself out there.
Right.
But you're never going to know unless you actually do.
Yeah, you can either live your life and just go through and not talk to anybody, or you can just put it aside and say, you know what, I'm tired of not living. I want to go out and have fun. And you just do it in little increments if you have to. So she wants to know, she has no idea how to go about taking the first step. She's never been one to make that first move. So what do you recommend to take that first step, if she decided she wants to make that first move? I think that goes back to, and I don't want to answer the whole question, but I think it goes back to the whole flirting thing where we did the one podcast.
I think you're right too. It's a subtlety thing.
Eye contact.
You really don't have to necessarily talk as much either if you do the flirting. I mean, the eye contact, just smiling at them, that kind of thing, letting them know you're just, and honestly, you don't really have to say a lot either.
Yeah.
I mean,
eye contact, touching, light, brush ups. I mean, not groping, things like that. No. Getting in close, laughing at what somebody says.
Saying, acting like you're really interested in what they say. It's not even about having to approach somebody, because I understand what she's saying. I know you want to make the first move, and that's great.
Yeah.
But honestly, the first move is usually
just talking.
Honestly, just chatting, having a normal conversation with them, and using your skills for flirting. I mean, with that, you really don't have to talk a great lot. And the other thing is comfortability in your surroundings.
Yeah.
Nobody is expecting you your first or second time to be Miss Social Butterfly.
Right.
I mean, that's not. You have to take it in increments, like you said. In any social situation, you have to. You're going to have to take the baby steps, like we were saying. You're not going to just be your second time be out there. And I'm not saying there aren't people that are, but they're more extroverted people.
Yeah.
So if you're more of an introverted person, which, believe it or not, folks, I am. I know that seems hard to believe because I do the podcast and I do the hosting, but actually there's a lot of times where, you really do have to force yourself to be sociable. Even though it scares the living crap out of you.
And you've gotten better at it.
I've gotten much better at it. And honestly, here I have to do that because I have to talk to people. So it does make it easier for me. But again, when I first had to start doing it, I would sit in the corner and I wouldn't move. I would say hi to you, and I would do my respective whatever I had to do, tours or whatever. But to actually get out and start talking to people. And I'll tell you what really helped me more was when I would have people go, "Oh, you're so gracious, you're so welcoming." Right. And believe it or not, your body language and the way you chat with somebody makes people really respond to you and feel more welcoming. So, being gracious, and that's really all it takes. I mean, you don't have to, be out there and, hey, be super aggressive. I mean, honestly, subtlety a lot of times will get you farther than, the aggressive act of, just going up and saying, wanting to be the aggressive person. Nobody's expecting you to do that. So I think...
and also, you're a lady, you're sexy.
You have all the advantages.
You're sexy. Use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
There's little subtleties, hand on your neck, your collarbone, rub your hand through. Yeah, rub your hand. Just kind of like trace your hand down your neckline of your, dress.
Yeah.
Kind of rub your hand up your leg, a little sensual.
Yeah.
These things here, guys are going to watch that and they're going to pick up on it and they're going to stare at you, and that's going to draw them in because, believe it or not, this stuff does work, The
little subtle body languages. So it's really not even about your conversation.
Yeah.
It is to a point. Yeah. But also use your flirting skills,
So instead of freezing up, like you said that you usually freeze up, instead of freezing up this time, just take a deep breath, just kind of, do one of those little things, run your hand down your neckline and just take a deep breath.
If you're interested in somebody, eye contact is a big thing. And I'm not saying stare at them creepily, but
right.
Lightly give them a glance, and do your little flirting, while you're staring at them, till just that will prompt them to maybe come, over and talk to you.
Right.
Because guys, they see that little subtlety, like, oh, I think she might be interested. Does that work for you? I think does that make you want to go talk to somebody?
Yeah, and like I said, you're never going to know if somebody's interested in you if you don't ever talk to them. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just like anything in life. Until you actually go up and experience it and try it, you're never going to know. And you're going to miss out on all these opportunities. And I'm guilty of it. I was doing it for a long time. I would make up excuses not to go up and talk to people. Mm-hmm. And now I go up and I talk to everybody. And it's great. I mean, it builds my confidence up to be able to go and just introduce myself and say, thanks for coming out. Is there anything I can do for you? And just talking to people and getting to know them. I mean, it's great. I mean, I highly recommend it for everybody. Just take a deep breath and just, you got to decide. You either want to sit on the sidelines or you're going to get in the game. And at least, even at baby steps, you got to try and do something. Because like I said before, if what I wasn't doing wasn't working, I had to change it up and do something different. And like I said, now I'm out there. I don't want to be stuck behind her. I actually want to be out there conversing with people.
His Saturday, he got we were gonna have somebody be able to run the stuff, and
I was like, no DJ. Now I gotta do it.
Now he was kind of actually disappointed about it because he didn't get a chance to go out and talk as much.
So hopefully that helps you out a little bit. And like I said, just try it, because like I said, if what you're doing now is not working for you, you got to change it up, and sometimes you just got to take a deep breath and just go for it.
And if you come here, to the club, we will always be willing to help you find somebody. I mean, all you gotta do is say, hey,
can you introduce me to
someone? Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people want to say that to us, but they're like, oh, no, I don't want to.
No, I mean, we love that. I love having somebody come up and say, hey, can you introduce me to that couple over there? Or that single person over there? I'd love to meet them.
Sometimes we force them to.
Yeah, but not often.
I mean, not force them, but we'll do a sneak attack.
Yeah. And I mean, you'll sit there and then they're with them the whole night. Yeah. And it's great conversation. And it's actually, they make plans to come back with them. So,
the same couple,
So, definitely.
Sometimes our little things do work.
Just like I said, just take a deep breath, try something different, and just proceed slowly. We'll help you out as well if that's what you'd like. It's all about baby steps. But I do really want to get back to the whole social anxiety thing real quick before we end the show tonight. I really want anybody out there that struggles with the awkwardness of trying to talk to people, you have to find a way to practice talking to people, face-to-face skills. I'm telling you, it's going to help you in the long run, and it's going to be a hard process for people to build up the confidence to do it. But if you want to get ahead in life with jobs or anything else, you really got to be able to communicate and talk to people. Again, there's nothing wrong with social media and things, but when you're out in the real world, you got to be able to do these things. And I know, there's different kinds of anxiety, large crowds, talking in front of people, making friends, just going up and introducing yourself. All these different things play together, and I think a lot of it can be overcome if you take practice and build things up and work on different life skills and things like that to be able to talk to people. So, and then I know that they have medication that helps control anxiety and things like that. But don't let anxiety, don't let awkwardness hold you back in life from doing the things you want to do, because we've always been told growing up you can do anything you want to do in life. And I mean, I think that goes hand in hand with overcoming fears and things like that. I'm definitely scared of snakes. I definitely
Yeah,
haven't.
he owned one.
Yeah, I owned one. I wouldn't touch the dang thing.
He thought he could get over it. He wouldn't buy
Yeah,
one.
didn't happen.
His son wound up taking over as his pet.
That was one. I ain't gonna lie. That was a wasted deal there. I thought.
But he tried.
Yeah,
so.
I did try that, but nope. They're pretty to look at, but I ain't touching no damn snake. I'll run. You have a snake in front of me. I just can't do it. But yeah, like I said, you just got to find a way to practice and overcome. Even if it's just grabbing a friend and saying, "Hey, do you mind if I do like a mock interview with you?" or something like that. All these little things can help.
Like I said, I think the dinner suggestion, when you're out with your friends, put down your damn phones. I've seen them text each other at the same table.
Right.
They're sitting across from each other and carrying on a conversation via text.
Well, it might not be with them. It might be with somebody else.
Oh, no, I've seen our kids do it.
Right.
They'll be across from each other and text each other, like, what? Or we'll be in the same room and my kids will shoot me a text. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why can't you just, I'm right here. Just tell me. No, they shoot me a text. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever freaking heard.
Well, and I mean, it is the day and age.
It's the normal thing to do it now, but, the best advice we can give you guys, put down the dang phones. If you're in a social setting, social situation, you're out to dinner with friends and family, don't be on your phones. Talk to them. Yep.
So I'm trying to think. I think we pretty much covered all that. I mean, and if anybody has any suggestion, tips, or ideas, you can always come back to this podcast on the chat, and you can type in and leave comments, on there, because it's a good way to have a conversation, because people do come back and watch these podcasts at a later date. So leave a comment on there on the screen right under the video. And excuse me, I ate a hamburger earlier. It's making me burp, but you can leave comments on here and you can get a conversation going on here. And I mean, that's the whole point of this. It's great when people tune in live and conversate, but you can always come back later and conversate as well. Leave a comment, leave your tips and suggestions on any of this stuff. And then other people can go back and they're going to read that as well, and then they can chime in. We want to be able to have discussions, not just, in our little kick groups that we have. But the whole point of this podcast is to help people that are watching it that aren't in these groups. So
I love reading the comments afterwards. After the show, so
that's why I'm saying leave comments on here for other people. Leave your tips and suggestions. Ask your questions. There's other people that are tuning in at later times that'll go back and watch them, and they can actually leave their 2 cents as well.
I do. I watch them.
Yeah. So we always will go back and read them. So. Just like everybody else will. So that's all I can say about that. I don't know if I really have anything else. Do you have anything?
No. Okay.
David, do you have anything tonight? No? Okay. Well, I guess we will go ahead and end tonight's show. We didn't really have anybody else making any comments or leaving anything. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in. And I know usually we try to stay on subjects with sexual stuff like that, things with the lifestyle, but we're not afraid to cover topics that are a little bit more difficult to talk about as well.
This does go along with the lifestyle too.
We're going to have some really good upcoming shows. We've been talking about a few ideas. We want to really get into some, hard to cover topics and things that, we've had people come up to us and say, hey, could you do a show on this or this and this? And, we just kind of look at them and go, yeah, you know what? We're going to go ahead and do that, because you definitely need to tune in to hear, because we want to give you our point of view on what we're seeing on why things aren't working for people.
I love, we get a lot of our ideas by watching people.
So, and we're not trying to make you guys into guinea pigs.
We're not trying to make fun of you, but we feel, sometimes.
But these things are here to help. Yeah. So we see things because, we're kind of observing, when we're walking through. So we want to be able to get back and say, this is what we're seeing, so-and-so is doing wrong. We're not going to call them out, but we're going to say, these are things that we notice that we see people doing, and this is not going to work for you. Maybe you should try doing this, or this, and hopefully they go, maybe they're talking about me. Maybe I should listen to that. So we're going to be definitely getting in a couple shows here. I know next week one, I already have a great idea on what I'm going to hit on. I don't usually like giving out what we're going to do.
It's a mystery to me. He never tells me until couple days.
You don't want everything to be rehearsed and
No.
scripted. We want it to be like right off the cuff.
Natural,
So that's the biggest thing there. But with that, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna say goodnight, and we will see you guys all next week. And make sure you tune back in and leave those comments, and any questions or anything like that, make sure you send them in and leave them on there, and we'll go back and read them as well. And everybody have a great night.
Night, everybody. Have a good week.